Hello and welcome to episode 12 of the Comic Conspiracy Podcast. My name is Ryan Higgins. I'm joined by
Brock
my
Sager.
ever faithful companion.
Faithful companion.
Yes. What's your name?
Brock Sager.
Hello, Brock.
Hello, Ryan.
We were considering calling this episode 11.1,
Yeah,
but Brock doesn't like the .1 initiative.
Marvel
so.
sucks.
Oh, damn. That's fighting words.
So does Ultimate Spider-Man.
Hey, now you're just trolling. Now you're just trolling Jinpei on the forums. Sorry, Jinpei. We love you. We were going to do a couple things this episode, but DC decided to go ahead and release the full list of all 52 titles. So we're going to call this our giant-size 100-page DC special episode number 1 instead of actually episode number 12. And we were talking the full list of DC's titles for September. We're going to run down each title, each creative team, and talk maybe a little bit about it.
If you don't want to hear us talk about all this crap, you can just pick up a previews at the end of the month, and they'll all be in there.
But this will be out before previews, and we promise. So we have this episode, and then a DC episode. So here's our next few episodes, so you can get ready. So we have this episode. Next episode is going to be all Green Lantern. Episode after that is all reader mail or listener mail because we have so much mail to catch up on. After that, we're going to do attempted more non-DC episodes because it's been so DC centric, and I actually apologize. I really am trying not to be so DC centric, but the news is pure DC at this point. No one else is saying anything because September is like this sword of Damocles hanging over everyone's head that there's nothing else anyone can do until DC's done with this. So we promise a non-full DC episode in our next couple episodes. After Green Lantern, that is. So.
And listener mail? Well, listener mail will be half and half, hopefully.
I will attempt to get the most non-DC of the listener mail. So,
well, then that's just being biased. We can't bias other listeners. It's all equal email.
Well, I mean, I get emails back to April, back from some of our first episodes if we still have an answer. I mean, we're 3 months into this, so we need to catch up on a few of these emails. So, Brock, you ready for the full list?
Oh, dear God, here we go.
And hopefully we're actually going to beat, the full solicitations up, which, I mean, they're already out there, but Monday
send me whatever the information that is, and then I'll post it on the blog.
Yeah.
So people can read it on the blog.
It's the solicitation text for 52 books, so that's a lot of books.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do this. Of course, number 1. I mean, we already talked about some of these last episodes, so we won't talk about all of them again, but we'll go through and just read off the titles. Justice League, number 1 by Jeff Johns and Jim Lee.
Wait, this isn't even in alphabetical order?
These are the order of the solicitation, so this will be how they're coming out in the preview book. Okay. Nothing more to be said about Justice League. We talked.
Jim Lee, Johns, it's awesome.
I would say check out last week's episode if you need more info on that. Brock, where's your down scroll button on here? Oh, there it is. Number 2, Justice League International, Dad Jurgens and Aaron Lopresti. I think we talked a little bit about this last week, but
we didn't actually talk about the JLI.
No?
Last week. We were mainly focused on Justice League and kind of the digital stuff that was going on with it.
But there have been 13 titles were released. I can't remember all the titles.
We didn't talk about all of them, but we mentioned Justice League International.
Okay. Well, Justice League International, Batman Booster Gold, Green Lantern, Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, August General and Iron, unexpected.
August General?
Yeah, from, what is it, The Great 10?
Okay.
Fire, Ice, Vixen, and Rocket Red. This is your Justice League International team. Interesting. Yeah, that could be kind of cool.
I don't know if Vixen's going to be a good addition to the team. She kind of wasn't even a good addition to Justice League America.
Well, those issues of Justice League America she were on were pretty not that good.
Yeah.
It wasn't terrible, but
Dan Jurgens' writing, I think it'll be really, really good.
I hope so. A lot of people were upset that we're not getting a Booster Gold book. This is the Booster Gold book, so yeah. I'm fine with this. This doesn't bother me at all. I'm happy with this team.
So just so you know, we're not going to be mentioning a Booster Gold series.
Oh, there's actually an interesting list that I will read after this list.
Fuck, this is a list issue.
This is a list episode. Coming up next, Aquaman by Jeff Johns and Ivan Rice. Again, we talked about last week. This should be interesting. It talks in the solicitation about the Trench. Am I totally misremembering that from another title? Was that something that DC already had? I know they had the Reach. That was the Blue Beetle thing. They had the Bleed. That was the Wildstorm thing. But the Trench...
The Trench is what it's talking about the space between the coastline.
No, I don't mean literally what it is. It's this great. They are a broken race of creatures that should not exist. An unspeakable need driving them. The Trench will be the most talked about new characters in the DC universe. I think it's
new characters. No.
Yeah.
I thought they were talking about like the Trench and regarding. I mean, maybe they come from a Trench.
Well, if you remember at the end of Brightest Day, spoilers for the Aquaman part of the last issue of Brightest Day, there was a group of people that were attacking Aquaman and Mera, and they were using Atlantean technology.
Yeah.
So I wonder if this is them, because it's Mera's people. I don't know if this is the plot. This is where they're coming from. I'm not sure what they're doing with this. So, next.
Okay, so hold on. So far our tally on John's books is 2?
Yeah, I think he's only doing 3.
Okay.
Next is Wonder Woman by Brian Azzarello and Cliff Chiang. Yeah. Someone actually said I pronounced her name right in the last episode, and now I'm going to butcher everyone's name today.
It's okay. We're honest about it.
Yeah. Let me talk to him a little bit about that. Brian Azzarello, interesting writer, 100 Bullets.
I'll actually pick it up because it's Brian Azzarello this time.
This is what we also need to do during this. We need to do a buying or not buying.
Oh, that's true. Okay,
Justice
so Justice League, buying.
Justice League International,
buying.
Aquaman,
buying.
Wonder Woman,
buying.
Not even a question. And I think we need to do like the hell yes we'll buy forever, or like if we're buying we should be like I'll test out.
Redo this again.
I'll test out the first. Well, no, I'll test out the first issue. I mean, so far these are all I will.
Well, for me, Justice League is a hell yeah. Justice League International is a hell yeah. Aquaman is I'll buy it.
Yeah.
I mean, John's I normally keep on his stuff, so but it's not hell yeah. And then Wonder Woman is. I'll buy it, but I'll see how far I can take it. Unless
Aquaman gets as bad as the post-Kurt Busiek relaunch. Kurt Busiek wrote the 1 year later relaunch of Aquaman. 1 year later was a series where DC took all their books and moved them forward 1 year, and there was this big gap in between all the titles. Kurt Busiek wrote Aquaman at that point, and it was really good. I don't remember the name of the writer that took over. Tad Williams?
Tad Williams, yeah.
Is that his name? He's a fantasy author.
Yeah, I tried reading Tad Williams' work. Oh, I couldn't read it. It was so bad.
The Aquaman stuff was just terrible. So I will buy Aquaman unless he's writing it. Wonder Woman. Brian Azzarello. Yeah, not much to say about that. Flash #1 by Francis Manipoul, written by Francis Manipoul, and Brian Buccellato? Buccellato? Something like that. And drawn by Francis Manipoul. So, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'll still pick up Flash.
Yeah, it would
see how far it goes.
Again, it would take a big terrible writer for me to not buy Flash. Flash is one of my favorite characters. I've read it during the less than stellar Bart Allen Flash relaunch. I read it through those issues after Johns left. Back in the original launch, those are some of the worst Flash stories ever.
Yeah, you even read the Fastest Man
terrible. Yeah, that's the Bart Allen one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Flash. We talked about that last week. Captain Atom #1. That's J.T. Kroll, who's currently writing Green Arrow, and Freddie Williams second.
I'll give it a try.
Yeah, Captain Atom. He's a cool character. Depends. Again, I think depends
and
what they do with it.
Justice League International?
No. See, what's weird is I'm not going to go read every solicitation text, but some of them are like, oh, these characters have been around for a while, blah, blah, blah. Some of them are like, oh, this brand new hero. So it's interesting to see what their
take is.
Why some are getting a fresh reboot and some aren't. Actually, if you go back to the solicitation for Justice League here. In a history where superheroes are strange and new, Batman has discovered a dark evil that requires him to unite the world's greatest heroes. And Justice League International is, let's see... This team are charged with promoting unity and trust, but can they reach their goal without killing each other first? So it's kind of like the heroes are getting together like they've never been together before, but some of these guys, like Captain Atom, it sounds here like he's sort of a new character at this point, where some of them, the Batman and Superman, when we get down to those, I mean, these guys have clearly been around for a while. So it's weird how some books are getting a hard reboot and some aren't.
Yeah.
Next one up is Fury of Firestorm by Ethan Van Sciver and Gail Simone, writing it, and Yildiray Sinar, I love the guy's name, drawing it. He's a great artist. We mentioned this on the last podcast. It's Getting Legion, and Ethan Van Sciver and Gail Simone. Great. Well, Ethan Van Sciver is normally an artist, so I see his writing. Again, Jason Rush and Ronnie Raymond. So that should be cool. I'm very excited for that. That's a hell yes I will buy.
Well, Firestorm, it's weird. We won't even get to see if they explode.
Maybe that's what causes... Maybe their explosion causes...
But their explosion doesn't exist anymore.
Maybe that's what happens at the end of Flashpoint 5.
But their explosion doesn't exist anymore.
Let's back up for a second here. Again, end of Brightest Day. Well, one thing that's interesting is a lot of these books are coming out of Brightest Day, which was DC's big crossover for this past year, their big Green Lantern book. At the end, Firestorm was going to explode in 90 days. The two guys, Jason Rush and Ronnie Raymond, were going to explode if they couldn't figure out this problem. There was some problem they were having. Is this going to tie in? Is this going to have something to do with it? I don't know, because they've not mentioned anything since, and it seems like such a big point at the end of Brightest Day. Now, just a few months later, this is happening, so who knows how much is tying in and how much isn't. Where was I? Here we go. Green Arrow #1, J.T. Kroll and Dan Jurgens. Dan Jurgens being on art. No?
No.
Haven't been liking the current
I
Green
haven't
Arrow?
even read the current.
No? It's good. J.T. Kroll's a really good writer. And I like Dan Jurgens' art.
I read the little preview they had at the back of the books when Brightest Day first started coming out.
Yeah.
And I've never been a big fan of Green Arrow, so, you know. I mean, it might be one of those things where I'll eventually pick up the trade if I can feel like, if I'm like, oh, what can I read? Oh, let me try the Green Arrow stuff.
Well, this kind of got an interesting solicitation text. It says, Green Arrow is on the hunt, driven by inner demons. Oliver Queen travels the world and brings outlaws to justice by breaking every law. Now armed with cutting-edge weaponry and illegally gained intel, courtesy of his team at Q-Corps, Green Arrow is shooting first and asking questions later. That's a pretty tough reboot on Green Arrow. That's very odd. I don't know. It's definitely a buy and see.
You're buying every DC. Oh, wait.
There's a couple I'm not. Savage Hawkman by Tony Daniel, art by Philip Tan. Interesting. Philip Tan's not my favorite artist, but I like him. Tony Daniel's writing on Batman has not. I've enjoyed. It hasn't
been bad.
No, I've had no problem with it. You know, there's terrible. There's that giant mid-range of like these guys are totally serviceable, and then there's like you're Jeff Johns or Grant Morrison, and you're Neil Gaiman. It's like, oh my god, they're the best ever. Yeah. Tony Daniel falls right into the middle of that serviceable area. He writes a decent Batman title that, you know, he's not going to set the world on fire, but I'm not going to throw it in the garbage after I read it.
Or stop reading the book.
Or stop reading it, yeah. Interesting. Again, this kind of sounds like a reboot of the character. Mr. Terrific #1 by Eric Wallace. He's current writer on Titans.
Oh, Savage Hawkman, you buying?
Yeah. I mean, test run.
I'll
test
try
run,
it out,
sure.
yeah.
Art by Roger Robinson. Not familiar with him.
I'm not going to pick up Mr. Terrific.
I'll at least give the first story arc a shot. Not my favorite character from the JSA, but you know, interesting. Again, this Mr. Terrific seems like a pretty big reboot of the character. From reading the solicitation text here. He runs a successful high-end corporation and an institute that recruits and encourages the finest minds of the next generation to excel. As Mr. Terrific, he inhabits a world of amazement few others know exists, let alone can comprehend. This, again, seems like a reboot of the character, and it's funny because Hawkman is also seems like a reboot of the character. Keep this in mind.
Oh, shit.
As we go on. What team do those two characters belong on?
Justice Society.
Yeah, that's true.
Are we rebooting Justice Society?
No, but I'll get to that.
Oh, Jesus
Keep
Christ.
that in mind.
Here we go.
DC Universe Presents #1 by Paul Jenkins and art by Bernard Chang. I like Bernard Chang. This is the Dead Man. This is an anthology title. And Dead Man's, well, I assume. And Dead Man's the first story.
Is this going to be the oversized, like, $7.99s?
No,
or is it
nothing is over outside of Justice Society or Justice League. None of this is oversized yet. Everything
so
is $2.99.
It's going to be like the old DC Comics or the DC Comics Presents.
It's an anthology title.
Yeah,
we're going
DC
to get
Comics Presents.
It's like the current Adventure Comics title, which first was a Superboy title, then became the Superboy Prime title, then became Legion, and is now a Legion Academy. DC Universe Presents seems to be following that anthology. Not an anthology of multiple titles at the same time, but a couple issues and another issue and another issue.
It's a story arc title.
Right. So Dead Man. And this is first up is Dead Man, straight from the pages of Brightest Day.
What?
So that sounds like, to me, they're still picking up the plot. Like, it's weird that they would say from Brightest Day into this book because there's no connection. So this is weird. Like, I'm totally unsure what's a reboot, what's not. But again, we'll get into this.
Okay.
Now, onto if Justice League is the number one book, here's number 2. Action Comics number 1, written by Grant Morrison, art by Rags Morales. Hell yes. Grant Morrison can do no wrong. Rags Morales is a fantastic artist, and I'm so happy to see him on a big book, because his run on Identity Crisis is one of my absolute favorite. And this, to me, is interesting. This is $3.99, oversized, 40 pages. The one and only Grant Morrison returns to Superman, joined by sensational artist Rags Morales, to bring you tales of the Man of Steel unlike any you've ever read. This exercise debut issue is a cornerstone of the entire DC universe. The cover is sort of an homage to the cover of Action Comics number 1, but he's not wearing like a Superman costume. He's in like overalls, and you only see him like the neck down. You don't really see his head. I think most of these titles are the characters have been the character for a handful of years or whatever. I think Action Comics number 1, or Action Comics in general, may be a flashback book. This is going to be, because Superman in this world is the first superhero that ever existed or was ever around. They've kind of already mentioned this. So this is Superman's day 1 and on. At least that's how I'm reading this from the picture.
So it's Morrison doing. So it's Morrison's like doing Superman's origin?
It's his secret origin.
Okay.
Right. In this new world.
This Ultimate DC.
Right. We're followed up by Superman number 1, written by George Perez. Breakdowns by George Perez, so he's going to kind of lay it out with art by Jesus Marino. This was one that a lot of people were like, how the hell is George Perez going to draw and write a book monthly? Well, here's the thing, he's not.
Yeah.
He's just writing it. Again, the new adventures of Superman begin here. What is the Man of Steel's startling new status quo? How does it affect Lois Lane and the Daily Planet? There's no time for answer now because Superman must stop a monstrous threat to Metropolis, one that he somehow is the cause of. Again, we're getting kind of a... This seems, from that solicitation, from the picture, we're a couple years in to his story, so I don't feel like this is a day 1 Superman title. Where that Action Comics, it seems... The feeling is an early title. Early in his history.
Early Ultimate title.
Early in his history, yeah. The next 2 big ones...
We haven't even been saying if we're buying them.
Oh, well.
We should just say if we're not buying it.
So, I mean, Action Comics... Well, I said Action Comics, hell yes. Yeah. Superman, yeah, sure, absolutely. Yeah, it's a Superman title. I've got no problem with Superman. Superboy number 1, written by Scott Lobdell. He's all right. Art by R.B. Silva and Rob Lean. Don't know who those are.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to pick up Superboy.
Again, I'm willing to give the first arc shot. Though he was just an experiment and a failed one of that. They thought he was just an experiment. Grown from a combination of Kryptonian and human DNA, the clone was no more than a set of data to the scientists of Project Nowhere. But when the scope of his stunning power was revealed, he became a deadly weapon. Now the question is, can a clone develop a conscience? So that's a pretty big takeoff from the original Connor Kent Superboy stuff. I mean, he originally was a clone made by Cadmus, but he was Superboy like right off the bat. This whole deadly weapon, no conscience. That's kind of if you look at the art too, the art looks like it's something out of Akira or Ghost in the Shell. I mean, it looks like this sort of non-standard Superboy. So this is very clearly a different take on the character.
I'm not going to read it.
No. Are you reading the current Superboy?
No.
Just don't like Connor, or
I liked Connor in Adventure Comics, and I liked the first story arc for Superboy.
Yeah.
But then it started to drag.
No.
It's if you're gonna develop a character, then develop the character. Give me something developing the character, but don't give me something that's developing the character as you're dragging me through something and expose. Oh, we're doing this, and then reveal this. Oh, that's cool. It slows the book down.
Okay.
If you're going to have a cry thing with your girlfriend, then have a cry thing with your girlfriend. Don't have a cry thing with your girlfriend and go, oh, wait, I got to run and save this thing. Finish the scene.
Well, to get a drag on the story for later. Supergirl number 1, written by Michael Green and Mike Johnson. They were guys that worked on Smallville and Heroes, if I'm not mistaken. They wrote a lot of Superman, Batman. Art by Mahmoud Asrar. 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 I can't pronounce it.
Asrar.
And it's not like Muhammad either. It's Mahmoud Asrar. Mahmoud Asrar.
Mahmoud? I don't fucking know.
Okay. What are you, drunk or something?
I don't even care.
Here we go, Brock. Ready? Are you ready to meet Supergirl? She's got the unpredictable behavior of a teenager, the same powers as Superman, and none of his affection of the people of Earth. So don't piss her off. I don't know if I like bitchy Supergirl. The cover looks awesome. If you haven't seen the cover, check it out.
Wait, were the green guys the ones that did the Kryptonite story arc in Superman Batman?
Oh, your famous
the
Superman Got High?
Yeah, Superman Got High.
I don't know. I don't know if that was ever
I think
not.
they did.
It might have been.
I think it was Green and Johnson.
Could have been.
Because if they did it, then I'll check out Supergirl. But if she's a whiny, bitchy teenage girl, and in any way resembles Superboy Prime, I'm off.
And do you want to explain your favorite Superman Batman story of all time to the listeners?
There's a story arc in Batman or Superman Batman where Batman helps Superman collect all the kryptonite in the world, and
Brock's for the trade right now. I think. See if has he got it?
Yeah, I got it. Yes, it's Michael Green and Mike Johnson.
Okay,
so
cool.
I am going to be picking up Supergirl. But in it, they're going and collecting the different colors and stuff, and Superman gets exposed to... Superman gets exposed to, like, silver or gray kryptonite or something, and he's high. Like... He goes and eats cereal. He's like, "Oh my god, this is so awesome! It's got me in it." And he's so freaking high. And it, and the Red Arrow, Arsenal says, "Is it just me, or does he seem kind of highly unstable?" Is what Batman interrupts him with. Yeah, it's awesome. I would definitely have to say you got to pick up this one, the Superman Batman Search for Kryptonite.
Let's save that for your random pick of the week.
That'll probably end up being my random pick of the week.
Okay. Let's move on here to some bat titles. Yeah, there's actually we gotta start hauling some ass here. It's gonna take forever if we go through all this.
Yeah.
Batman number 1, Scott Snyder, current writer on Detective.
Yep, I'm gonna pick it up.
Greg Capullo, old
is this
Spawn
rebooted?
Artist. I mean, I don't know. Can't tell. Batman. It's a Batman number 1. Sure, I'll pick it up.
Yeah.
Detective Comics number 1, written by Tony Daniel, art by Tony Daniel. So they're basically taking the Batman and Detective teams and flip-flop them. Yeah. Everything we could tell about the Detective and Batman stuff is he's been Batman for a while. He looks like he does now, so
yeah, it's, even in Jim Lee's Justice League picture, Batman looks older than everybody else.
Yeah, he does. He does.
So,
Batwing number 1 by Judd Winnick, art by Ben Oliver. This is going to be an interesting title.
Batwing?
Yeah, he's a new character. It's funny because originally they call him an African American Batman, but he's in Africa, so he's not African American. He's
African,
just African.
He's the African Batman.
African Batman.
No, he's the African Batman.
Well,
African. You're an idiot.
Well, no, that's what was so funny about it because I'm like, he's not African American. He's from Africa.
He's the black Batman from Africa.
Right. So
because you could have a white Batman from Africa.
I mean,
you could have an Asian Batman from Africa.
You could, but yeah,
this character will be dark skinned.
Yeah.
This is the racist podcast all over again.
I mean, I'm down with that.
Who's writing it?
Who did I say was writing it? No, it's Judd Winnick. So,
oh yeah, if it's Judd Winnick,
down with Judd. Yeah, they're relaunching Batman: Dark Knight, which is David Finch and art by David Finch.
Wait, relaunching it?
Yeah. But even issue 3 is not even out yet, and they're already relaunching it. 3 and 4 are supposed to ship before this, so let's see. It's going to be the same old Batman. Batman and Robin number 1 by Peter Tomasi and Patrick Gleason. Yeah, I like Patrick Gleason.
I like the Tomasi.
With Damian. So
yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
So I don't.
I mean, Batman could be 35 and had Damian when he was 25, like getting started. I don't know.
Please don't ever talk about Bruce Wayne's sex life again on the podcast.
Okay.
It makes me feel awkward.
I'll try not to.
You sick bastard.
I know we've mentioned this before, but this is a little official title here. It's Batgirl number 1 by Gail Simone. Yeah, Barbara Gordon, back as Batgirl. It's Gail Simone, day one purchase. It's Batgirl, day one purchase. I don't even
like Gail Simone that much.
Ardian Sinif.
I didn't really like Birds of Prey. I know I'm the worst.
You are mistaken.
Yeah,
this is going to be great. I mean, if anyone, giving Gail Simone, Barbara Gordon to write, just in any regard, whether she's Batgirl, whether
is this one I have to buy regardless? Just try it. Are you saying, Brock, you have to buy this? At least try it.
Sure, if you want. I don't care about whatever the hell you want. I think it's going to be great.
Okay.
We're finally getting Batwoman by J.H. Williams.
I don't know if I want to buy it now.
J.H. Williams and J.H. Williams.
I don't know if I want to buy it now. I loved the stories in Detective, and I loved this. I loved the Batwoman character that came out of 52.
Well, this is the same character.
But I've been waiting so effing long for this book that I'm like, I'm kind of over it now.
Well,
I'll pick it up.
Yeah. Yes, you will. Nightwing, number 1.
Nope.
Dick Grayson back. Kyle Higgins, I'm not familiar with him. Art by Eddie Barrows. I like Eddie Barrows. He's a decent artist. He did a lot of Teen Titans stuff. He's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not picking it up.
Nightwing. Wait, Gates of Gotham. Did Kyle Higgins write Gates of Gotham?
No, Scott Snyder did.
Yeah, this is he's from writer Kyle Higgins, Gates of Gotham. I thought that was Scott Snyder. Maybe he co-wrote it. Yeah, sure. It's a Batman miniseries, or it's Nightwing. Yes, I won't pick it up. I have the full run of Nightwing. I will continue. I have all the. Oh god, what's her name?
Spoiler.
No. I have every issue of Nightwing, even the ones by the most terrible writer of all time, whose name is blanking on me right now. I'll come back to this.
Mark Miller.
I remember her name. No, second worst writer of all time. Let's get Devin Grayson. Thank you, Devin Grayson.
You don't like Devin Grayson's writing?
Oh, no. She wrote a lot of comics for DC in, like, the early 2000s.
Didn't she do Catwoman for a while?
Did she? I don't know. I don't think so. I know she wrote the relaunch of Titans.
Oh, yeah.
When they first came out, which was like, this is the original Teen Titans. This is going to be great. Phil Jimenez is doing work on this. And it was one of the worst books. Oh, it opened up with them fighting a Marilyn Manson clone. That was their first arc, named Goth. I hated this book from the first minute I laid eyes on it.
Yeah. I'm having like Gen 13 flashbacks right now.
It's so bad. And she wrote Nightwing when he got raped by Tarantula.
Nightwing got raped?
Yeah,
by a guy,
by a girl, by Tarantula.
That's right.
Yeah,
I never read it.
Just bad stuff.
Man, Nightwing just gets shit on. I don't need to read this book.
Catwoman, number 1 by Jed Winnick, and art by Gilliam March, who's the artist, did art on Gotham City Sirens and all the cover art for that. He's an awesome artist.
Yeah, I'll pick up Catwoman.
And again, this sounds like a reboot of Catwoman.
Okay.
Birds of Prey number 1 by, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce his name. This guy's done a lot of work for Marvel. His first name is Dwayne Swierczynski.
Oh,
yes. I could never pronounce his name properly.
The non-Straczynski.
Yeah. So this is a bit of a different take on Birds of Prey. It's kind of like a...
I'm not picking on it.
It's kind of like a Black Ops Batman team. It's Black Canary, Starling. I don't know who Starling is. And there's other people on that team. I only see the text here. I don't have the cover art.
Unless if it has Geoforce in it, I'll buy it. But if it doesn't, I'm not buying it.
Geoforce. Well, it's funny you mentioned Geoforce because the next title is Red Hood and the Outlaws by Scott Lobdell and Kenneth Rockfort. Not Outsiders, Outlaws.
But is it Geoforce in this book?
No, I'm just saying.
Is it the Outsiders in this book?
No. It's Red Hood, who is Jason Todd, who is listed as Batman's former sidekick. So some time has existed here. Green Arrow's rejected sidekick, Arsenal, and Starfire, a former prisoner of intergalactic war who won't be chained again.
So that picture of those three is Red Hood and the Outlaws?
Yeah. So Starfire is apparently no connection to the Teen Titans.
I don't know. I probably won't buy it.
Red Hood and Arsenal. So I'm going to buy the hell out of this book because I love Starfire. So I will buy this book.
You just want to oogle at her body and go, oh, what? I wish I was Dick.
No.
In her pants.
No. Okay, we don't even need to talk about these titles. Green Lantern Bot by Jeff Johns. Yeah. Green Lantern,
we're all buying the Green Lanterns. Move on.
Doug Mahnke.
We already talked about these.
I know. I'm just going to go through. Green Lantern Corps #1, Peter Tomasi and Fernando Pasarin. I don't know who he is. Green Lantern Corps, buy that. Green Lantern #1 Warrior by Tony Bedard and Tyler Kirkman. Get to buy that. Red Lantern #1 by Peter Milligan and Ned Benes. Buying that. Go back to last week's episode if you want to hear more on our Green Lantern talk, because we talked about that in JLA a lot.
Listen to next week's episode for more Green Lantern talk.
Yeah. Let's see.
I'm wearing my Green Lantern shirt and hat today.
I'm
wearing
a Transformers 2 T-shirt. Secret Origin. This is actually from the guys that did the special effects on Transformers movie. They had nothing to do with the actual plot, so it's actually a cool shirt, but I don't support it.
They can't see it.
I don't support the plot of Transformers 2.
They don't know what the fuck it looks like.
I just like the shirt.
They know what a Green Lantern hat and a Green Lantern shirt look like. They don't know what the fuck your Transformers shirt look like.
Justice League Dark #1.
This
Peter
is the
Milligan,
magic thing, right?
Michael Janin. Yes.
This has
I'm excited for
Hellblazer,
this.
John Constantine's in this.
Yeah, Shade the Changing Man, Madame Xanadu, Deadman, Zatanna, and John Constantine.
Yeah, but
but Peter Milligan. Oh man, if Justice,
you know what?
League,
I haven't been impressed with his work on the Flashpoint mini with Batman.
Shade the Changing Man. Well, that's not Peter Milligan. That's Brian Azzarello.
So is he doing the Shade the Changing Man? Who did the Shade Changing Man?
Oh, did you say Batman?
Yeah, Batman, the Flashpoint Batman mini.
Yeah, that's Brian Azzarello.
Oh, that's Azzarello.
The Secret Seven, that's Peter Milligan.
It's confusing as shit.
Oh, that's Peter Milligan.
Okay, well, he
wrote your favorite book, Greek Street.
Oh, fuck, why am I even
Isn't
picking
that Peter
this book
Milligan?
up?
Yeah, that was Peter Milligan.
God, that book was so bad.
I won't disagree with that. But Peter Milligan wrote the old Changing Man series. Madame Xanadu, Deadman, Zatanna, John Constantine. There's no way I can't buy this book. I'm stoked. Stoked for this book.
I figured that somebody's editing the shit out of him and not letting him write his own crap. So, because Greek Street is like
it's pretty unreadable.
Of the Vertigo.
It's pretty unreadable
universe.
Swamp Thing #1 by Scott Snyder and Yannick Paquette. Very cool. Scott Snyder, you're awesome.
Is this an ultimate or a regular? Is this a reboot? Remember, because there's titles that we don't know whether or not it's...
Alec Holland has his life back, but the Green has plans for it. So, yes. I mean, he's back as Swamp Thing, so it seems like he was not Swamp Thing. So, yeah, very bizarre.
We'll see.
Animal Man by Jeff Lemire and Travel Foreman. Yes.
Who's Jeff Lemire?
He's writing Superboy and Sweet Tooth. Animal Man, instant buy for me. Buddy Baker, one of my favorite characters.
Nah. If he was hanging out with Doctor Strange or Doctor
Acula?
No,
Dr. Occult?
No,
Dr. 13?
Space.
Dr. Strange? Adam Strange?
Adam Strange. If he was hanging out with Adam Strange and Starfire, fuck yeah, I'd buy the book.
Yeah.
But if those characters aren't in, I'm not buying.
You get your Red Hood and the Outlaws, your Animal Man book, and
you put them together and read them at the same time. No.
Make them dance.
I don't need to buy
kiss
those two.
Frankenstein, Agent of SHADE, Shade by Jeff Lemire and Alberto Ponticelli. So, Frankenstein. I like the Frankenstein stuff. Grant Morrison.
The Commando stuff's been okay.
Well, Grant Morrison introduced him back to the DC universe in what was it in Seven Soldiers, that was cool stuff.
And they've been he's been in he was in Blackest Night.
Yeah, he was in Blackest Night.
He was in Action Comics for a little bit. He was in Generation Lost. He's fluttered in a couple titles.
He had a handful of roles in Final Crisis. That's true. Yeah, there's a handful of cool stuff there. Let's see what else we got. Let's moving on to the next title.
Moving on down.
I, Vampire by Joshua Fialkov and Andrea Sorrentino. I'm going to forget the name of this book that this guy wrote, so let me look it up here while I'm doing this. Boop, boop, boop.
I, Vampire. What is this about?
I, Vampire is an old DC character, one of their old horror characters. Joshua Fialkov did a book called Elk's Run, which is an indie title. It was pretty cool. Another one listed here, another book called Tumor. I don't know anything about that book, but Elk's Run was a pretty cool little indie, kind of weird, quirky indie title. Like kind of like a mixed horror. I'm not sure what their long-term plan on I, Vampire. And as we're getting into these titles, we're starting to get into the books of like cool, but
why?
Not why. but how long is this going to last?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I don't know about if I'm going to pick up iVampire. I flip through it. I may pick it up. I may not.
Yeah. I mean, when we get to this list, and there's another list at the end I need to read here real quick, but I'll kind of
keep going.
Talk about this.
Keep going.
Now, for what is maybe the most surprising book of all time, and this is going to be on my personal favorite list, Resurrection Man. You know anything about Resurrection Man?
You told me about Resurrection Man. He sounds really cool. It made me want to go buy the Hitman trades.
Hell yeah. Did they tell you?
Do they even have Resurrection?
No, no, that's going to be a get your own copies bound. Did I tell you who is writing Resurrection Man?
No.
Instant buy. You ready? Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning.
Nice.
Booyah, baby. Our boys over from DC's our Marvel's Annihilation series, all the space stuff, Guardians of the Galaxy, Nova, DNA, as they're known as, some of my favorite writers. Resurrection Man is a great character. This guy's deal is he dies and comes back with new superpowers. So if you ever want to read maybe his greatest appearance, there was a Hitman Resurrection Man crossover where Hitman just keeps killing him until he gets better powers, and it's just a just fabulous book. So funny. I mean, the book itself isn't funny. That scene was funny. But just great character. Super excited. 9 people are going to buy it. 2 are sitting in this room. It'll be canceled after 12 issues, and it'll be 20 years till we get a new series, which, whatever. But it's like, buy this book.
It's funny, Resurrection Man comes back instantaneously with different powers, and yet he can't resurrect his own fucking book.
No. The fact that it lasted to 25 issues or whatever it did back in the day.
It even had a million issue.
Right, then that's where I think that was the end of it. So, great title. Very cool.
Kind of try and track those down. There.
Very excited. Look in the quarter bins.
DC release a Resurrection Man trade.
That'd be awesome.
Do it.
Demon Knights by Paul Cornell. Diogenes Neves. Covered by Tony Daniel. I know how to pronounce his name. This is the Dark Ages of the DC Universe. Madame Xanadu and Jason Blood summon the demon Etrigan.
Not gonna read it.
It's Paul Cornell. Paul Cornell's awesome. Action Comics.
Yeah, no. I don't like Demon.
No. Knight and Squire.
I don't like Demon.
You don't like his rhyming? Maybe he won't rhyme in this new universe.
If he doesn't rhyme in this new universe, maybe.
If he doesn't rhyme, Brock will buy. If he does, Brock will something that rhymes with buy. We'll say goodbye.
you can't rhyme and you can't pronounce shit.
That's true. I'm a poet and I didn't even realize the fact.
Dumbass.
Now we're getting into the even lower ball titles. Alrighty. This is where it starts to get a little sketchy for me. Stormwatch #1. Oh, hey, by Paul Cornell. Okay, maybe I will buy this. Art by Miguel Sepulveda.
This is them pulling the Wildstorm comics into the continuity?
Yes, so we're going to get some Wildstorm characters here.
Yeah, I might pick up Stormwatch.
Following the ominous events of Superman #1, Adam 1, Jock Hawksmoor, Midnighter, and Apollo team up to do a bunch of stuff. And the Martian Manhunter. Our good friend John's Martian Manhunter is on Stormwatch. So these books are clearly in the DC universe at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that. Stormwatch.
Did you read Stormwatch?
Wow, I mean, on and off. I've read it back when Warren Ellis was writing it. I read some of the reboot stuff. I don't know how I feel about Midnighter and Apollo being in the same world.
You got a problem with a gay guy?
No, I don't. I have a problem with them being in the same world as Batman and Superman.
Why?
Because they are Batman and Superman.
No, they're Midnighter and Apollo.
But they're Batman and Superman.
No, they're not.
Yes,
they're Midnighter and Apollo.
Come on, they're the exact same character.
Come on, what?
They just
you
happen
sick
to be
bastard.
Married. They just happen to be married.
You don't want the gay guys coming into the DC universe?
Nothing to do with them being gay.
Dude, your African comment, man. We're going to get pulled off the air just because of what we're saying about minorities.
It has to do with...
just shut up and read the Stormwatch book and see how it ties in with the universe.
I know, but it's like...
It's at least not Hawk and Dove.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Authority in the DC universe, Stormwatch in the DC universe, if these, when they start bringing these concepts in, they go very much against the grain of the DC universe. So I'm really curious to see how this is going to work. Like the next 2 books, Voodoo, #1, by Ron Mars and Sami Basri. She does not
Voodoo
appear
from Wildcats.
From Wildcats, it doesn't seem to be the same character. I mean,
is she a stripper?
Is she hero or villain or both? Well, Priscilla Katian, she leaves a trail of violence across America. Discover the new DCU through her eyes because things are not always what they seem. So I don't know.
I'll pick up Voodoo.
See, I have no love for the Wildstorm stuff. I never really read it when it was coming out. I never read.
You never read Wildcats or anything?
I mean, on and off, but nothing. I've never read Wildcats 3.0. That was really cool. Wildcats the 2.0 stuff. That was good stuff. But I have no love for these characters the way like a lot of the '90s guys do. But my '90s were DC and Vertigo, not Wildstorm. I don't know.
You mean Image?
Well, Wildstorm imprint, and then over to DC.
Wildstorm came at the end.
Well, it was always Wildstorm. It was just an imprint within Image.
Oh, okay.
Ow. Sorry, I just smashed my hand. I'm pulling a Jon Stewart. You haven't seen Jon Stewart cut his hand while recording The Daily Show in the middle of a bit, and he got blood all over the place.
Wait, he cut his hand? I thought he broke a cup.
He cut his hand while he was trying to turn on this thing off, and he smashed it and it cut his hand. He had a glass in his hand, and he was like bleeding out while they were in the middle of filming
his hands below, and he's like,
yeah. And if the last couple episodes, he's had his his right hand below the table, and he's been doing everything with his left hand because he had all these stitches on his hand, and he has like this bandage. Grifter #1 by Nathan Edmondson and art by Cafu. I don't know who those people are. And Grifter, again.
I'll pick it up.
I mean, we're in the nose for me here. Like, Grifter, Voodoo.
Stormwatch is a maybe. Martian Manhunter.
Stormwatch is a maybe. Voodoo and Grifter.
I'll pick them.
I have no love for the Wildstorm character. So if they're cool, people tell me, I'll check them out. But I'm not here for these guys. So I kind of, whatever. But you know what? This is what happened. Look at Blue Beetle, Captain Marvel, Captain Atom. These are not DC characters. They were all brought in later. So, hey, maybe this will get me to love them. I don't know. The Question, these are some of my favorite characters, and they're just not actual created by the DC properties. So, we'll see. Deathstroke #1 by Kyle Higgins, art by Joe Bennett, and Art Thibault. Cool. Slade Wilson, Deathstroke. I'll buy it.
Is it an Ultimate title?
He's the best mercenary in the DCUs and been doing this for a long time. Some may say too long, but they'll learn. Never turn your back on Deathstroke the Terminator. He won't quit no matter how high the stakes.
Good God, that's a gay solicitation.
That was being prejudiced.
Dude, you couldn't. Even the guy who does the movie announcements couldn't make that sound good.
You ready for Ryan Scott, our Geekbox host's favorite title, who he actually already hates?
Are you going to pick up Deathstroke?
Yeah.
I'll try it out.
Sorry, I just bumbled that. Suicide. Yes, thank you. Suicide Squad #1. Written by Adam Glass, who actually's only written a few comics. He works for Marvel, and he's doing speaking of racism, he's doing the Grodd book.
Oh, nice.
For Flashpoint.
Nice.
And art by Marco Rudy. Cover by Ryan Benjamin. I actually like Ryan Benjamin. He's a good artist.
I may check it out depending on how the Grodd series goes. Well,
the main guys are King Shark, Deadshot, and Harley Quinn. You will buy it because when you see the cover, Harley Quinn looks like she does in Arkham Asylum in the games.
She looks exactly like Arkham Asylum.
No,
she
not
has
exactly.
A hint of Arkham Asylum.
But she's not her normal Harley Quinn.
She's not her normal Harley Quinn.
And in fact, if you're going through this list, it's a very lack of Joker list or Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
And no villains, like not a lot of classic villains being listed.
We can't announce villains.
I guess.
Those are the other surprises.
Now here's an instant no for you and an instant yes for me because I'm kind of a fan here. OMAC #1, written by Dan Didio and Keith Giffen, art by Keith Giffen. So this sort of...
Wait, written by Giffen?
Co-written by Giffen. Didio and Giffen.
I'll pick it up.
Art by Giffen. Oh, okay. I thought you didn't. I thought you were no Giffen. No,
I like Giffen.
Do you?
I like the Justice League International stuff.
I thought you were a no modern Giffen.
Didn't he just do Generation Lost?
Well, he wrote the first couple issues.
Generation
Judd
Lost?
Winnick did the rest.
I liked the first issue.
Okay. For some reason, I thought you didn't like Keith Giffen.
Dan Didio would be the reason why I don't buy that book.
Okay, but
fuck you for ruining Outsiders, Dan.
But Keith Giffen's co-writing it.
Fuck you, Dan.
But Dan's the co-publisher of DC Comics, so this is all his.
Yeah, he can ostracize me from the DC. I don't care. You ruined Outsiders for me.
Dang. So, yeah, the all-seeing Brother Eye Satellite has unleashed a new beast upon the DC Universe in the smashing new series. So, this is a war between Checkmate and Brother Eye.
No. Okay, is it old Checkmate or is it...
I don't know.
Who's over Checkmate?
I don't know.
Spoiler alert, Maxwell Lord's over Checkmate.
I know. So now there's some more interesting stuff. Blackhawks #1 by Mike Costa and Ken Lashley. I actually like Ken Lashley. He's a pretty decent artist. This looks to be like Elite Force military special equipped with cutting-edge hardware and vehicles. Their mission, kill the bad guys before they kill us.
Huh?
It's just... Blackhawks was an old DC War title.
It was a DC War title, which is what what's her name from Birds of Prey came from.
Yeah, Lady Blackhawk.
Lady Blackhawk, yeah.
She's awesome, by the way. Lady Blackhawk is one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
When Gail Simone writes are just
Good
so
thing I
funny.
can't see your crotch right now.
Because
I don't want to be looking at this.
Blackhawks #1. Do I want a typical Army war story in the modern DC universe? If this was like a Silver Age title, like a throwback, maybe, but it's like modern day.
I think we'll both flip through it and see how it looks.
Is that also $3.99 as well? No, that's $2.99.
Most of these titles are $2.99, right?
Pretty much everything's been $2.99. There's a couple oversized that have been $3.99, but here's one that is $3.99. Men of War #1 by Ivan Brandon and art by Tom Derenick.
Men of War?
Yeah, again, it looks like it is unclear. It's Sergeant Rock, Easy Company, but like modern.
I never read the war stuff.
So, again, do I want a modern Sergeant Rock title? I don't know.
I'll flip through it.
It kind of reminds me of Damage Control, which is a Marvel book that came out in the 90s.
But Damage Control is actually funny and
well, this is on the ground and on the front lines, a young, headstrong soldier known as Joe Rock assumed command of Easy Company, a team of ex-military men turned contractors. Will they survive the battle-scarred landscape carved by the DC Universe supervillains? Like, I don't know. Like, I guess it doesn't really sound like... But to me, I don't know. Are they contract killers? Like, are they contract mercenary type? I don't know. That doesn't sound right. Are they
I don't know.
clean up?
I probably won't pick it up.
Jonah Hex is continuing as All-Star Western #1, Justin Gray and Jimmy Palmiotti. It's an anthology series, so there's going to be, I believe, backup stuff in this. It's listed as $3.99. So is Men of War. I don't know if there's supposed to be another story in there.
Jonah Hex?
I've been picking up, yeah. I'll continue to pick that up. That's fine. The other regular Jonah Hex book's been fun, so I'll continue to buy that. A couple weird things here. Teen Titans #1, Scott Lobdell, art by Brett Booth. Tim Drake.
Booth is back?
Oh, he's been drawing JLA. That's Brett Booth.
Oh yeah, I've been reading it.
Oh, JLA's been good. The Eclipso stuff. It's been fun. What? So it says Tim Drake, Batman's former sidekick. Okay, so at least Tim Drake has still been a Robin. How long has he gone through 4 Robins? He's on his 4th Robin, and this is a new DCU? Wow, whatever. Is back in action as Red Robin when an international organization seeks to capture, kill, or co-opt superpowered teenagers. As Red Robin, he's going to have to team up with the mysterious and belligerent powerhouse thief known as Wonder Girl and the hyperactive speedster calling himself Kid Flash to stand any chance at all against a living, breathing weapon with roots in another world. They, along with a few other tortured teen heroes, will be the Teen Titans in this new series by writer Scott Lobdell and artist Brett Booth. Sure. I mean, it's Teen Titans. I'll buy it. I don't care. It's Teen Titans.
We were talking about
I don't mind.
I'm not buying that shit.
No?
I fucking hate Teen Titans.
Why?
I fucking hate that shit.
Did you read Jeff Johns'
I read some of
Titans?
Jeff Johns' Teen Titans stuff, and Johns' stuff wasn't bad, but the rest of Teen Titans stuff that I read, it gets fucking boring. It's like, oh, we're in the tower. Oh, we gotta go to school.
Did you read the Marv Wolfman and George Perez Teen Titans? Come on.
No.
Dude. Teen Titans great.
No. I didn't read it when Nightwing had that queer disco suit costume. Okay. No.
Enough with the sexual appetite.
Yeah, this is true.
Okay.
This is true.
Static Shock #1.
It was just a weird disco.
Scott McDaniel and
what was this one?
art by Scott McDaniel. Static Shock. So Static's getting his own book.
Nope.
I was never a big fan of Static. I didn't care for him in the Teen Titans stuff. I'll probably pass on this. Brock's favorite book, Hawk and Dove #1.
No.
I like Hawk and Dove.
I like Hawk and Dove.
Written by Sterling Gates. I like Sterling Gates.
Sterling Gates.
Art by Rob Liefeld.
No point picking it up. I'll get the trade.
Here's something. Hank Hall, who is Hawk, is not happy. He's not happy to have Dawn Granger, Dove, as a new partner in his War on Crime. He's not happy that she's dating the ghostly superhero Deadman. This is
the aftermath of Brightest Day. How is this an Ultimate book?
I don't know. This is how Brightest Day ended. How is this? Yeah, I don't know.
What is this, Hawk and Dove, like soap opera hour?
Well, you keep mentioning the Ultimate title, so let's get to the end of this, and then we got a few things to say here. So I don't know. I have no idea how this is going to happen.
I'm not picking it up. You're going to?
It'll have to be the best art he's ever done for me to pick up. Okay, let's get this shit done here. Blue Beetle #1, Tony Bedard and Ig Guerra. No. Jaime Reyes. I like Tony Bedard. I like Blue Beetle. No, it's fine with me.
No, more Ted Cord.
That's a tough fight there. All right, here's 2 books you are going to pick up. Legion of Superheroes #1.
Fuck yeah.
Paul Levitz, Francis Portela. Is a Legion of Superheroes. And now the students of Legion Academy must rise to the challenge of help rebuilding the team because, well, Legion Academy is the arc that just finished in Adventure Comics. Yeah. So, like, is this a reboot? Is it, like, what is going on? DC, you're killing me here.
Yeah.
And the reason they're rebuilding the team is because 7 of the heroes went back to the 21st century in Legion Lost #1, written by Fabian Nicieza, art by Pete Woods. So a bunch of them have come back to now to fight off stuff now.
Just so you know, this is the second Legion Lost title.
Right, so we're getting they're actually collecting the original Legion Lost stuff, which, thank God, that's by Abnett and Lanning. Yep. So we're getting Legion Lost, which is 21st Century Legion, and Legion of Superheroes. Does that come out
this month?
It's soon.
I think it's this month.
The hardcover is soon.
Yeah, I'm going to pick up the hardcover right now.
I can't wait. And then Legion of Superheroes, which is a 31st Century Legion. So, crazy. And there's your 52 titles. Hope that wasn't... Are we
there yet?
Are we there yet? But there was one other list. And we gotta go over this list real quick. It'll only take a second here.
Yeah, right.
I'll read fast.
Less than a second.
Well, no, here we go. That's 52 titles. There's a number of books missing from this list. No Batman Beyond. No Superman Beyond, which was solicited for a 0 issue. No My Greatest Adventure, which was listed as a book that was supposed to come out at the end of after Weird Tales or whatever that anthology book that just finished. No Booster Gold.
No Booster.
No Superman Batman. No Adventure Comics.
Nope.
Spirit. Doc Savage. Secret Six.
First Wave?
Well, First Wave is already over.
It's over, okay.
Secret Six. Gotham City Sirens. Power Girl. Thunder Agents. Titans. Zombie. Zatanna. No Wally West. No Captain Marvel. No Justice Society of America. There's actually a number of creators that aren't listed. A number of DC mainstays that have no books coming out in the month of September. James Robinson, who's current writer of JLA. Scott Collins, who does a lot of Flash stuff. Phil Jimenez. Jamie Ingle. I'm just going down this list real quick. David Hine, who's writing Batman. Brian Q. Miller's doing Batgirl. Jock, Brian Wood. Those guys have been doing a handful of stuff. Mark Andreyko writes Manhunter. Chris Robertson is doing Superman. Phil Hester, who's doing Wonder Woman right now. Will Pfeiffer, he hasn't done much recently. I don't know why he's on this. Marv Wolfman, Mark Guggenheim, Fraser Irving, Andy Kubert. The Kubert brothers were exclusive with DC for a number of years and doing some Flashpoint stuff. Eddie Nunez, he's a Wildstorm guy. A lot of Wildstorm guys here have nothing coming out. Gene Ha, Howard Porter, Kevin McGuire. Not all these names are going to, not everyone's going to recognize all these names, but there's a lot of these guys, Adam Beecham, these guys have been doing books for on and off for DC for a long time. So it's, no Nicola Scott, who's the artist on Teen Titans right now. She's a fantastic artist, and no idea why she's not doing anything. Mike Krell, he did Warlord, nothing. I have a feeling some of these books are understood that they are not going to last forever. It would not surprise me if there's like a new set of books due out in a few months, or if we're going to get a small smattering of new titles as time goes on. But I wanted to tell you, Brock, about our last conversation last week when I said, this is the ultimate DC, this is going to get rebooted in a year, blah, blah, blah. Well, without saying too much, I've been informed.
Dude, then just say spoiler.
No spoiler.
There's no spoiler, okay.
I've been informed by people in the know.
In the nizzo.
That I'm mistaken, and that this is in fact permanent. As permanent as anything can be.
Wait, actually, this is permanent?
This is permanent.
I'm out.
So, I mean, all my things of Ultimate DC a year long. No,
why?
This is sounding like this is going. No. This could be. It could change in a year. They could change in 5 years. This could be temporary. No idea. But it's sounding more and more that we will find out what the deal with this is come Flashpoint, come JLA. That it'll become much. We will understand better soon. Is this a hard reboot? Is this a soft reboot? Is this temporary? Is this permanent? Now, at first I was convinced it was permanent, and then I was convinced it's not permanent. Now I have no clue. So I'm just going to sit back, enjoy the ride. If they bring him back for Action Comics 1000, more power to them.
Stupid.
If they don't, they don't.
Legacy numbering.
I don't know.
Bastards.
8 years?
Fucking asshole.
Hey, now you can buy Action Comics #1. I'm going to bring my copy of Action Comics #1 and go, is this worth $1.5 million?
You're an idiot. And everyone that comes in and does that is an idiot.
You know people will do that.
Oh, they always do. I got comics from the 80s?
So...
And the 90s?
A lot of good titles. A couple mediocre titles.
I honestly...
A couple blah titles.
Honestly, I mean, doing backstock, the only reason why I hate this shit is it's just to sell books. It's all just hype.
Of course.
I mean, I would be completely and utterly fine if all of these titles were the first story arc on Action Comics number 905.
You know what? But here's the thing. I get why they do it, because people buy it. The complaints on the internet are not the complaints in the store. It's a very vocal minority, and their reaction is not reality. And I wish people would realize that.
Hold on. Let's take somebody who... Let's take this example. You come in September.
Sure.
A brand new reader.
Sure.
You pick up Legion #1.
Okay.
Okay? You go and you read it and you love it. You want to read the old Legion.
Sure.
All right? You start picking up trades. You start reading all that stuff. So now you're collecting Legion.
Sure.
Oh, now they've renumbered Legion back to whatever original numbering is.
Okay.
You turn into the pissed off person on the internet afterwards. Because it's annoying to deal with when you get to the point where you start collecting these. Now, I'm not talking about the readers that come in and read and just read.
Yeah.
They're like, whatever, I'm reading whatever.
Yeah.
But reboot, I mean, this is pissing off the collectors in a sense.
Well, it's pissing off a lot of people, but I'll tell you what. That Legion #1 is going to sell a hell of a lot more copies than Legion number 15 or 18 or whatever would be out that month. It's just the simple fact. Now, this is the thing. If high price points cause fewer people to read, we would have seen a much bigger drop-off, because the amount of people online that complained about $3.99 versus the amount that the books have gone down in the last couple of years are not the same.
No.
I mean, the books have gone down, don't get me wrong. Yeah. But the vocal minority of the internet is not the people dropping the books. Most of those people don't buy the books anyway. Most of the people online saying, this is stupid, I'm not going to buy the new Superman, they didn't buy the old Superman.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. I think,
you know what? It matters to me.
Well, you know what it does to me too.
Somebody.
I think some of this is a problem. I don't think we need the full reboot. DC does. It's interesting because now that Warner Brothers has turned to DC for their movies, is Warner Brothers keeping a closer eye on DC Comics? The rumor was always that DC could kind of get away with whatever as long as it sort of turned a small profit, because Warner Brothers, they were a drop in the bucket. They didn't care.
Yeah.
If they're looking at Green Lantern, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Justice League, if they're looking at these comic properties for titles, are they starting to turn an eye to DC and say, hey,
your merchandise, you need to make more money.
Why is Marvel outselling you 2-1? Why is Marvel books $3.99 and selling more than your $2.99 titles? If this isn't a huge success, I could see them no longer drawing the line at $2.99.
Yeah.
If this isn't a huge success, there may be some editorial changeover. I don't see Warner Brothers dropping DC Comics. There's no way in hell, because the movies are too profitable and the animated series are too profitable and the underoos are too profitable. But I kind of fear for the next couple of years for DC. I think if the comics are successful and the movies kind of flop, I think the comics are fine. If the comics kind of just flop and do whatever, sell the way they've been selling, and the movies are successful, I think the comics are just fine.
Yeah.
If the movies flop and the comics flop, there might be some trouble.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know what this is?
What's this?
This is Disney all over again with Marvel.
Well, Disney and Marvel, we are going to see the same thing, I think, in a handful of years. A lot of people are wondering, how is Marvel putting out 125 titles? How are any of these books profitable? It'll be interesting to see if Disney kind of turns an eye to Marvel and says, why are we publishing these titles again? DC and Warner Brothers say, DC and Marvel say Warner Brothers and Disney kind of stay out of it, but at some point that's not going to be true anymore. And I wonder if we're kind of seeing the start of it with the DC here. This may be DC's sort of stopgap measure and say, look, let us reboot these titles, give us a year. Let us see what the numbers are at the end of this year. Because, Dan DiDio and the editorial teams have been there for a handful of years now, going on a decade. That's pretty long for comics.
Yeah.
He's not been the editor-in-chief, but he's always been a head position.
Same with Marvel.
Well, no, Marvel has changed.
They just changed.
But a lot of the guys are the same guys that were there before, so there's no change, really. It's Alex Alonso and Tom Brevoort, and the same guys have been at Marvel for a decade. So, I don't know. I would hate to see the guys at DC kind of get kicked out from Warner Brothers, and if this isn't a huge success. The thing is, I don't see DC outselling Marvel 2-1. I could see it getting a lot closer. I could see it being 50-50.
What's the percentage now?
Marvel, for unit share, not for dollar share, but unit share, Marvel's usually around 40-45% of the market. DC's in the 20 to 30%. Sometimes it'll be a little higher, sometimes a little lower. But I think if you want to say average, Marvel's probably about 40, DC's probably about 25.
Yeah.
It does go up higher, it does go down lower. There are times when DC actually beat out Marvel. A lot of it depends on what's shipping. But you're looking at somewhere in that range. So Marvel and DC make up around 70% of the market, roughly.
Yeah.
And Marvel is usually, 1.5 to 1, 2 to 1, somewhere in that range. I think DC wants to be closer, and this is their chance. If the titles are successful, they can do it. They could do it in 1 month. There's September. I don't see why DC wouldn't blow Marvel out of the water in September. The only problem is not so much October, but January, February, March of 2012, what their numbers are going to be.
Well, that's the thing is even looking at, when I look at the my comic shopper app every week, Marvel always has more titles.
Oh, they have
than DC.
I think they average about 120 titles a month. DC's around 80.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Also, is you have 125 titles versus 80. You're going to have a higher percentage because you're casting a wider net, so to speak.
Sure.
And you're also those 125 titles. More brands are spread over certain books, like you have.
Well, here's a question. This is 52 titles. What if DC's got another 20 or 30 coming out in October?
Jesus Christ.
It's possible.
It's possible. That could be what the backup people are, the people that aren't working.
Yeah, and JSA.
But I would also assume that, editorial-wise, you'd want to keep people there just in case something falls short. Liefeld on Hawk and Dove. But, I don't know. I think that Marvel and DC for years have kind of tried to push too much into... they're not focusing on just getting us comics. They're focused on getting money first.
Well, Brock...
I understand. It's a business. You need to make money.
They're profitable first, creative second. Yeah. That's the nature of business. You can't have it any other way.
But the thing is in a creative medium, right?
It's profit first.
It's profit first. But the thing is in a creative medium that, if you look at what Marvel puts out versus what DC puts out, quality-wise, DC blows Marvel out of the water.
Huh.
Unit-wise, Marvel blows DC out of the water. Why? Because it's the brands.
Yeah.
It's because more kids buy Spider-Man books.
No kids buying Spider-Man book. This is actually DC's biggest flaw, I think, in this marketing. They think kids are going to buy this stuff. Kids are going to buy this stuff.
Well, I don't know. Kids don't. It's not necessarily the kids that are buying it. They might not be in stores buying it.
They're not. They're not buying it anywhere. Well, kids don't buy comics.
The thing is, the parents might be buying it, though.
Not for the kids. You get kids buying comics. I was a kid when I started buying comics. You get parents that buy them for their kids, but the books are being sold to adults. DC is trying to market these books to a different audience. And I think that's where they may fail.
Yeah.
I don't think this market exists for them. You should have your Batman games and your movies and all the stuff marketed towards kids. You don't need the comics. The comics should be marketed towards adults. Just pure and simple.
Yeah.
If anyone says, "Oh, comics used to sell a bunch when they were marketed to kids," no, they sold a bunch because they were 12 cents, 15 cents, 25 cents. They're not anymore.
And during that time, TV wasn't the dominant media.
Right. They were sold to kids before there was 5,000 channels, 20 movies a week, DVDs.
Well, the biggest thing that people listened to on a major basis was radio.
Right. iPods, iPhones, iPads, 5 major video game consoles. Like, this is why comics don't sell to kids now. Comics sell to adults with disposable income that like the fantasy. That's who they sell to. And, that's just the nature of it. I mean, if I grew up today, would I be into comics? I have absolutely no idea. Because when I got into comics, I started reading comics in, 91? I had my Nintendo. I mean, I played video games. I like to go to the movies. I watch TV. I think I probably would still get into them. But I don't know.
Well, I think that's the thing is if you took who you were then and plopped you into who you in today's
I'd be the
world,
lamest kid in the year 2011.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing is you would have. You'd still have 2 consoles. You'd still have, but the thing is it's your desire to read.
Sure.
And that's what it boils down to is kids normally get into comics because they want to read.
Sure.
Or because they're interested in the art.
Sure.
You don't pick up a book because, I got to pick up a book. You pick up a book because you want to read.
Right.
And I think that it's working in a high school, I see the illiteracy of America every day.
Yeah. Oh.
And, I think that that's part of the problem is that parents use video games and TV and movies and internet and all that stuff to entertain their kids.
Oh yeah,
and they're not pushing their kids to pick up a book and read, pick up and expand their horizons.
Well, both my mother and my grandmother were both teachers.
Yeah.
So I have a long history of both my sisters are college graduates or still in college and they're going off their master's degree and stuff like that. I did not follow them into college, but
you graduated high school.
Well, I did. I took a little bit of college, but I kind of always knew what I wanted to do, and opposed to most people actually liked retail and planned to work at the store and own the store at some point. So I'm on my long-term plan, which I'm glad it worked out, because otherwise it'd be shoveling shit in a ditch somewhere. So
in the trench?
In the trench, because I have no other skill sets in my life. So yeah, I got nothing. I don't know.
But your parents guided you towards reading. They guided you towards, taking a break from the.
I wish I read as many novels these days as I used to, because I do not have the time. Just the one part of sucking about growing up is job and business and other interests have taken away from my time to read, which I would like to fix at some point.
That happens when you retire. That's what you're saving up for. All this stuff is what you're saving up for to retire, because at some point there'll be a break and you'll be like, I'm done with comics, but I want to read these.
Yeah. That's what I always fear about getting like an iPad or a Kindle or something. I would just be like, ooh, buy. I'll read these later.
Yeah, I had a problem with that for a while with books. Like, I would buy books, I'll read this later. And I never ended up reading them.
Well, for comics, I buy a lot of comics, and a lot of them I just put off to the side because I'm building full runs. I'm doing my Legion run, stuff like that. So that that's not my concern. I will read them at some point. I know I will, because that's why I'm buying them. But there's a couple others that I was just like, yeah, sure, I'll buy every issue of Avengers. I'm going to actually sit down and read all these? Oh, someday. So...
There's the essentials right there.
A couple of it is for collecting purposes. A couple of it's for reading purposes.
Yeah. Well, it's
Legion, right? I told you about the Legion, and now I'm like, oh, now I got to buy Legion. Well, this ties into Rebels, so I got to buy Rebels. Oh, that ties into the Trinity crossover, which ties into Darkstalkers or Dark Stars. Oh, I got to buy Dark Stars now. Ugh, Jesus.
So much space stuff.
Oh, it never ends. Never ends. So good though.
Riverdance, that's where it ends.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I think. We'll see.
Yeah.
As somebody who does back issues, I think renumbering is fucking dumb. From a business standpoint, I understand the renumbering.
Sure.
But again, what we talked about, where if they take it as a break and do 1 to 2 years, but come back and pick up Action Comics at 9:05 again.
All right.
pick up Detective at whatever number it was at.
Yeah.
I think that would appease everybody.
I don't know.
And it would kind of also give it...
continue the other books.
Yeah, and it's basically, we're trying this out for a year or two. Because it takes a little while for stuff to pick up. I mean...
I think the complaint with that, though, is, I'm being jerked around. Oh, this, now back to this, now back to the old ones.
But that's the thing, you're not being jerked around necessarily because it's what's available.
Well,
sure. When Ultimates was released, you still had to buy your X-Men books, your Spider-Man books. It was more on top of what you already had.
Right.
Whereas DC's kind of stepping back and saying, hey, we're not doing that. And it even seems like some of the books are even within the current continuity.
Yeah.
So,
I have no idea.
I mean, I don't mind if some of the books are still within the current continuity to finish off stories.
Yeah, yeah.
If Firestorm #1, I can understand Firestorm #1 starting because Brightest Day set it up.
Right, right.
I can understand not necessarily JL Dark.
Yeah.
I can understand it for the current one because it's set up.
Yeah.
But like Swamp Thing was set up with Brightest Day.
Right.
But this book doesn't sound like it's coming from that. So
I don't know. We'll find out.
I don't know.
September.
But it's also, doing it this way
sooner
also,
than you think.
Doing it this way also gives them the ability to bring Wildstorm in, which is what they've wanted to do.
Nah, that does nothing for me. All right, Brock. I think we're going to call this episode.
We can't call this episode.
We're going for too long.
We got to do a random comic pick of the week.
This is a special. This is not a typical episode.
You just don't want to pick a random comic pick of the week.
God, I got nothing to pick.
Dude, you always have something.
What a terrible idea this random pick was.
Dude, how is this a terrible pick? Dude, somebody started buying Star Wars Legacy because of this.
Nice. You?
No. They commented on my post.
Nice. All right, Brock. Since you love your comic picks a week, your comic pick of the
only
week
reason
so
you
much,
don't like it is because you don't actually think about it, and you're like,
yeah, you already have one. So talk about Superman.
No,
getting
you go first.
High. Talk about Superman getting high for me, Brock. I want to hear it.
All right. So my comic pick of the week is, you've already heard, is Superman, Batman, The Search for Kryptonite, by Michael Green and Mike Johnson, drawn by Shane Davis, who's a really good artist, by the way.
Yes.
Batman and Superman search for all colors of kryptonite that are still on the planet Earth, and shit happens. Like, Superman gets high, eats some cereal, hella fast,
looks at a bunch of super deformed superheroes.
Everyone looks at like they're the mini heroes from that alternate universe,
right?
Or like they're the baby heroes.
Yeah, there was a year where they were doing like these weird like mini, or the story arc of like these weird mini super deformed, if you're an anime fan, these super deformed Marvel and DC heroes and villains. It's really funny.
So, but no, really good story. It's out in trade, so you can go ahead and pick it up, and I will actually tell you the price. And it's actually reasonable. It's only $12.99.
What a deal!
Hell yeah, it's a deal.
Cool.
I actually need to pick it up.
Well, I guess I'll actually throw a little Marvel love in this episode here. I'm going to recommend.
But it's a DC special.
Yeah.
God. Going against the
grain. You can cross over a little bit here. Well, it's funny because, one of these guys was a DC guy, but he's mostly a Marvel guy now. I don't think I've recommended this before, although it seems...
We need to have like a list.
Yeah, because I don't think I did.
Look at every time. Because I think you already did Crisis, and I did it again.
Did I? Did I ever recommend PunisherMAX?
Did you?
I don't think so. I'll have to go back. I mean, it's only been 12 episodes. I couldn't have recommended this already. I don't remember recommending this, but if I did, I'm going to recommend it again because a new issue came out this week. PunisherMAX, not the Garth Ennis one, although that one's really good. Talking about the more recent Jason Aaron, who's writer on Scalped, and Steve Dillon, who drew the old Punisher series with Garth Ennis and Preacher and a bunch of other cool stuff. PunisherMAX is the new Marvel Punisher book that's been going on for a few years. It had a big delay in issues, but they're finally back on schedule.
Yeah, that was something to do with Frankenstein, right?
No. PunisherMAX
is... okay, he got over it.
Yeah, PunisherMAX is separate. The Garth Ennis stuff is violent. This is even more violent. PunisherMAX is
more violent than the
oh my god.
Stuff?
PunisherMAX is like, so the first arc was Kingpin, kind of getting Kingpin set up. Bullseye was the second arc, and Bullseye it's terrible. He like cuts off people's skins and wears them and has their family like cook him dinner and stuff so he can be like, get into the body of the person he's trying to impersonate and all this ridiculous, crazy
Bullseye?
stuff. Yeah.
I thought Bullseye was just the opposite of Hawkeye.
It's just nuts. Like, it's so violent. This book is gory to the freaking to the wall. Okay, it is crazy, and Punisher but it's awesome. Jason Aaron's Wolverine have kind of been like, whatever.
His Wolverine and his Ghost Rider,
yeah,
because he deals with hell and it gets boring.
But this is good. PunisherMAX. If you can stand the gore, if you can stand the violence,
is it as good as Scalped?
No. This is just gory. Scalped is violent
and raw,
violent and well written. This is just a violent, but I like it. PunisherMAX, yeah. If you like the Punisher, if you like the gore, if you like the really fucked up stuff, PunisherMAX, your book. How this book is still being published by a Disney property, I have no idea.
Disney has Buena Vista.
Yeah, I mean they do. Yeah, I guess. So
have you seen some of the movies? That Buena Vista?
Yeah. So PunisherMAX, worth checking out. Next week we are going to do our Green Lantern episode.
Green.
Yes.
Well,
we are watching the midnight showing of Green Lantern on Thursday night.
Hopefully.
We will more than likely not be recording Friday night. We're going to be recording Saturday night. I may not be around Friday. If I'm not around, I will let you guys know where I was when we record on Saturday. Otherwise,
because you'll probably end up talking. We won't know what to talk about.
Talking about Green Lantern the movie.
Yeah, but honestly, with where you're going, we might not even know what to talk about.
Well, that's
true. We'll be like,
well, we're talking Green Lantern the movie next week.
Well, we know that, but
so
you might be torn.
We're talking Green Lantern the movie next week. We will.
Stay on target.
I may have some interesting.
Stay on target.
Some other interesting things to talk about next week as well. Other than that, please visit our website, which is geekbox.net, www.geekbox.net. The Geekbox is the name of the site. That's where this goes up every week. You can also listen to the Geekbox podcast, which is I'm on pretty much every week, and Brock's on occasionally. We talk geeky movies.
You've never missed an episode of that.
I missed 2. Last year's E3 episode and this year's E3 episode.
But those don't count because they record there.
He records an E3. So.
But that doesn't count as a real Geekbox episode. It's an E3. It's a special.
It's a real episode.
Oh, okay.
He keeps that numbering going. So, we're going to be talking a lot of E3 stuff this week. The last week's episode, the one and only Adam Fitch was back for some comments only the way Adam Fitch can make them. So Adam Fitch is one of my favorite heroes of all time. He's the best person that's ever lived. His brother Adam Fitch is now on the Geekbox on a weekly basis. Adam is on Geekbox now. Andrew was down there in LA for the E3 podcast, so that was a lot of fun.
Okay, because you just said Adam and Adam.
Andrew.
So I'm confused. Who was back last week?
Andrew was in E3.
Andrew's going to be... Is it E3?
Andrew was at E3. Adam is here.
Okay.
So... you can www.geekbox.net, forums.geekbox.net. You can talk comics with us. We reply often. You can go on Facebook, which is facebook.com/geekbox.
We should just start our own.
Friend us there. Nah.
Don't be...
We get a lot of hits from that.
Gay.
Well, you can go to geekbox.net/comics conspiracy, which is the comic store.
That's just the archive.
It's the comic store Facebook page. I post on there pretty regularly. I post our pics. I post the episodes. You can see us on there, too. And like us. You can follow myself, Ryan Higgins Ryan, on Twitter.
Your Twitter kind
of
cannot. Dumb.
Hey, 1,500 followers can't be wrong, baby.
You have 1,500 followers?
I do, and only a few of them aren't spam bots. So you can visit Brock on his blog. Brock, what's your blog?
ConspiratorBrock.blogspot.com.
Why are you talking to the mic when you say that?
ConspiratorBrock.blogspot.com.
Okay, so you don't want hits. That's fine.
Yeah, no, I've actually gotten...
Had a few people...
I'm almost at 2,000.
Nice. Had a few people say, hey, I saw Brock's post about something, I want to order this book from his list. I'm like, oh, sweet.
Yeah, where's my cutback? Kickback from that shit.
Yeah, good luck with that.
I'm making sales for you here.
Yeah, that's a job. So yeah, I got nothing else. You could send us some email, thecomicconspiracy@geekbox.net. We have a ton of email to read, so we're going to do that all-email episode.
That's episode 14.
Yeah, we're going to do an all-email episode in 2 weeks. Maybe 15 and 16 as well. I got so many emails to respond to.
No, by then we're going to have to give updates on, like, Flashpoint and its progress and
Yeah, Flashpoint 2 came out. Fear Itself 3 came out.
Where in the kamikaze fall Fear Itself is at?
I mean, there's been some big books coming out recently. We're gonna have to do some more news. I mean, news has been DC. And nothing else has mattered. I said DC, DC, DC. And the last week, it's just been
it's kind of hard to
every day.
It's kind of hard not to have an all DC podcast.
No one's responded. No one's put out anything new because it's just DC is dominated. Actually, as we speak now, I should check on this before we go, but I'm not going to. Jeff Johns and Jim Lee were at the Hero Film Festival down in LA. They're supposed to make some big announcements. So
check it.
Maybe I should check this.
It.
Am I checking this?
Check it.
Check it. Brock, when you do some, when you talk here for a little bit and tell me what's been going on.
Oh, you cut your hair?
No, I mean that's not what I mean. I mean, talk to me.
I cut my hair.
What's if I'm going to be looking something up here?
Oh, I need to be talking about something?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. A lot of Flashpoint minis. We actually sold out of a lot of them. You should go down and buy them at your local comic store. We can even order them from us. I haven't finished reading the Flashpoint minis. There's a lot. I'm actually 2 weeks behind in my reading. Can you believe that?
That's crazy.
I know. It's like having a kid and working.
What's so far behind?
Because I've worked more days. I have a kid.
Kid. Yeah, I see nothing. So I'm going to assume nothing big here. Yeah, we'll look at it. I'll fill this in next week. So we're going to go now. That was totally uneventful. Hopefully everyone has seen Green Lantern by the time next week's episode up, because it will be no spoiler warning. It will be all a spoiler episode for the Green Lantern movie. Spoiler for the Green Lantern movie: Sinestro is a bad guy.
No! Why'd you ruin it?
He's not Hal Jordan's father, but he's a bad guy.
He's not Hal Jordan's father?
No.
He's
Star Wars.
pink.
Oh, so
how could he be Hal Jordan's father?
Well, Darth Vader.
I guess
Darth Vader, Anakin, Luke Skywalker.
His mom had to be really, really, really white.
Anakin Skywalker
or pale.
Is Darth
Vader.
Yeah,
I get the reference, yeah.
Who's Luke Skywalker's father.
Yeah. Stay on target. Okay.
Man, I love Wedge. Okay. We're done with this episode.
No, we're not. We're going to keep going.
Done with this episode. We will see you all next
week after
you join the Corps, the Green Lantern Corps. That is. All right, bye.